Hey, welcome EFT community to our first February personal peace procedure Wednesdays with Wonderland community tapping circle. We all voted to work on fear for the month of February. So today we'll be working on a recent event of fear or a future event of fear, which can also include feelings of worry or anxiety. So if you're feeling anxious about anything or worried about something, that goes under the umbrella of fear. So go ahead and start filling out your worksheet if you haven't already. Use your little sore spot here or your collarbone point so that you can write with your hand on your worksheet to write down the title of an event. It could be a recent thing that you experienced. Let me turn this light down just a little bit. Where you felt fear and you'd like to just clear that out of your body, or it could be something that is in the future that you know you are about to confront or about to engage in and that you are fearful about. So give that a title. And as you guys are doing that, I'll just go through our agreements. I am Amanda Wonderland, and I'm a clinical EFT and energy psychology practitioner. I'm also a mentor at EFT Universe, and my passion is guiding people through their personal peace procedure. And what that is where we write down every upsetting event that we can remember, and then we systematically tap through them so that we can eventually reach a level of emotional freedom. And my goal in life is to be unflappable so that I get triggered less and less by everyday life and little things that happen in everyday life, people that I encounter. I don't want to be triggered by everything. So that's why I wanted to do the personal peace procedure so I could clear out all the intense emotions around all of my past experiences. So we always come to these circles with water, tissues, and your worksheet. Always. And unconditional positive regard. If you don't have the worksheet, that's okay. You can have a journal. It's all right. But the worksheet just helps you separate your event into all the sensory aspects. So with clinical EFT, we get straight into a specific event and then we paint that picture with everything that we saw, smelled, felt, tasted, and touched. And then we also talk about the emotions that we feel around that event, how that feels in our body, and then any thoughts that we have about that. So that's all outlined in your worksheet, which is why it's really helpful. Unconditional positive regard for ourselves. First, we are coming in here with as much self compassion, as much gentleness as we possibly can as we approach ourselves, because especially when it comes to fear, it's generally a younger part of us that is feeling that. So how to look at it if it's a future event. Just imagine, just imagine. It's a whole Barney song. You get to play pretend. So project yourself into the future. What will it look like when you are at this future event? What will it potentially feel like? Thankfully, you have past experiences that you can draw on where you were afraid of something similar, probably. Although it could be a completely new thing that you have no experience with, but you do know how fear feels. You do know how worry feels, insecurity, doubt, those types of things. So if it's a future event, just imagine what all of those things might feel like. And it will go ahead and start working on your brain in a really proactive way so that when that future event comes up, you can feel regulated around it, just remembering what we're doing today. So all of that for yourself, being gentle and compassionate, and then also for everybody else in this room. We are all holding the highest intention for everyone's collective healing. Let's see what this question is. What if the only thing I'm aware of is my fearful voice in my head? The only thing you're aware of, like in this event, Jocelyn, let me see if I can see you. The only thing I'm aware of is hearing the fearful voice in my head and what it's saying.
Yeah, in other words, on the when we're doing the form, it says, "What did you hear?" At that moment, the only thing I could hear was my fearful voice.
That's it. That's absolutely it. That's an auditory aspect. So yeah, write down what your fearful voice was saying to you, probably worst case scenario. You
Thank
know
you.
what? Yeah, absolutely. Great question. And then we all take personal responsibility for our mental health and our well-being here. And if none of the words that I'm saying are resonating with you, change them. EFT is only powerful if it's you speaking your truth. And it's more powerful if you're able to say the words out loud, just because we're getting it into the body by using the mouth instead of just rolling them around in your head. So if you're in a place where you are safe to do that, say the words out loud. Okay, it looks like you guys are, some of you are still working on your worksheet, which is totally fine. I'm going to let you finish that while I talk a little bit about fear, and then we'll do a really nice exercise that I just learned to resource ourselves by stimulating some oxytocin. So you guys finish your worksheet, and I will just talk about fear itself is a very natural human emotion. It was necessary for our evolution. At the very base level, it just alerts us to danger so that we know we need to avoid that. We need to avoid that threat. So we wouldn't be here if our ancestors didn't have fear. So we can look at fear as a friend in certain instances. There are definitely times that we should be fearful. What happens though, is that this survival instinct that we can observe in just about every single living thing gets a little distorted, and we end up learning fears, conditioning ourselves to be fearful about things that are only in our imagination. And so our brain doesn't know the difference between real and imagined. If we're imagining the worst case scenario, that's what our body is experiencing, right? So we have these learned fears that are conditioned into our minds and into our imaginations, usually by a past negative experience or by our caregivers being afraid themselves and us learning that from them, or them telling us that we should be afraid of this. So a lot of them aren't founded in our present reality at all, and they usually have no actual danger related to them, but they can limit us from living a fulfilling life all the same. So tapping can really help us differentiate actual fears from our imagined fears and help us feel more resourced around moving through our imagined fears with courage and bravery. So Seneca said, "We suffer more from imagination than from reality." And these are the quotes that I got from the article that I posted in chat, and I'll post it in our email for those of you who are joining via recording. We suffer more from imagination than from reality. So I want you guys to really get into this worst case scenario, because that's what your mind is doing anyway. And if we're pretending that we're not thinking about the worst case scenario, then we're just suppressing, avoiding, and denying and bypassing. So let's really let our bodies feel that worst case scenario while we're giving it a contradictory experience of regulating and tapping. So that's what we're going to do today. Carl Augustus Menninger said, fears are educated into us and can, if we wish, be educated out. So that's kind of our goal today. We were taught to be afraid of this. Our bodies are afraid of this. They've been conditioned to be afraid of this, and we're going to counter condition them. That's what we do here with tapping. So before we get started on our actual tapping circle, looks like everybody's good. Let's do this awesome exercise that I learned recently from Dr. Dawson Church, just to stimulate a little bit of oxytocin in your body, which is the hug molecule, and it makes you feel all nice and warm and loved and fuzzy. And why not do that before we go dive into our fears, right? So we'll start with a nice hug, just a beautiful hug. I like to rub my cheek on my shoulder here, just hugging, rubbing up and down, letting yourself squeeze, just like you would if you're catching up with a long lost friend that you haven't seen in a long time. Just give a really nice, beautiful hug. I always find when I hug my friends, there's this kind of rocking motion back and forth. So just giving all that love to yourself. Let it feel good. Let it feel really, really good. For some of us, this is our love language, physical touch. And even when we don't have someone there to give it to us, we can give it to ourselves. And then we move from that beautiful hug just to tapping, the butterfly hug, tapping left and right. So just on your upper arms here, taking some deep breaths. Thinking about your favorite thing about yourself, maybe. What is your favorite thing that makes you you, that makes you so unique, that you would never ever want to counter condition? You want to keep this part always and forever. And then from here, we go to caressing our cheeks and our face, just like we would a little baby who might be sleeping. Just touching your skin nice and gently. If it feels okay, you can move into figure eights around the eyes here. This is one of my favorites. You're hitting all of the meridians that we love so much, your bladder, gallbladder, and stomach. Just doing figure eights and caressing your skin. Deep breaths as you move around your head. And then we'll end by bringing our hands to our heart, closing the eyes, bring all the love inward, resourcing yourself today for the big, beautiful, brave work we are about to partake in. Good. Okay, let's gently dive in. I'll have you guys check in after a few rounds and we'll start using some of your words, but we'll just prime the nervous system a little bit by going to the side of the hand and just talking about fear in general, your fear and how it feels in your body. Then we'll go into your specific event. So a couple deep breaths here. Good. Even though I have this fear, I accept myself and how I feel. Even though I feel this fear in my body, I accept how I feel and I allow my body to relax. Even though I've been carrying this feeling of fear, I accept myself and I'm open to seeing things in a new way. Good. Top of the head, this fear. Eyebrow. I feel it in my body. Side of the eye. It leaves me feeling frozen sometimes. Under the eye. It makes me want to give up sometimes. Under the nose. I'm scared that something might go wrong. Under the mouth. So I may just try to avoid it. Collarbone. I recognize all this fear. Under the arm and how it shows up in my life. Top of the head. I recognize the part of me that holds on to this fear. Eyebrow. I see you, part. I got you, part. Side of the eye. It makes sense that you're afraid. Under the eye. You've experienced something that makes you afraid. Under the nose. No wonder you're scared of this. Under the mouth. But I got you. I'm learning to be brave and resilient. Collarbone. So we can acknowledge our fear right now. Under the arm. And we can be open to the possibility that a better me is coming through. Side of the hand. So even though I have this fear, it is possible that on the other side of this fear is a whole new free life for me. Good. Good. So that's just our initial round. Nothing might have moved at all. Something might have shifted a tiny bit. Just take a look at your worksheet and see if anything moved at all. And then we'll go specifically into your event. Specifically see if that feeling in your body when you think about this event, where does that fear live? I think mine's generally like a ball in the pit of my stomach that just feels heavier than me, completely weighing me down and preventing me from moving forward in life. It's a fear of rejection for me, a fear of people not liking what I have to offer, a fear of being abandoned. So there's a lot of fears of the unknown. It's all underneath there. And for me, it all lives in my stomach. So just kind of check in and see if that's moved anywhere. And then we'll move on straight into your event. So take a moment to remember how much you love yourself. Remember that beautiful hug, and then paint the picture for yourself. Paint the picture. If it helps for you to close your eyes to connect more and you feel safe doing that, then you are welcome to do that. If you feel safer with your eyes open, that's up to you as well. But paint the picture. Put yourself in there, in that event. Look around, perk up your ears, feel what's on your skin, in your hands. Take a nice whiff with your nose. If there's anything to taste, give it a taste. And let's start tapping. Even though this event makes me fearful, I choose to find a small amount of safety feeling this. And if it feels okay to choose to find a large amount of safety, do that. Just trying to meet everybody where they're at. And then, even though I'm afraid when I think about this event, it's scary. I'm also curious about how this might shift. Even though when I think about this event, I feel fear in my body. And I know I am more than this fear. And I choose to find freedom today. Good. Top of the head. Let's go straight for the eyes in your event. What do you see? Look around you, look in front of you, near and far. Look to the left, to the right, behind you, below you. What do you see? Eyebrow. What do you hear? Do you hear that voice in your head saying, oh, this is going to happen. This is definitely going to happen. Here's the worst thing that could happen, and it's about to happen. Do you hear someone else's voice? Something else altogether. Side of the eye. What do you smell in your memory or in your future event? Letting yourself get fully absorbed. Under the eye, if there's anything to taste, might just be the taste of fear on your tongue. That might be a very strong sensation for you. So just tune in. And under the mouth, what do you feel on the outside of your body? Are you holding anything in your hands? Do you feel the temperature of the air on your skin? You sitting on something, feeling the texture of that. Under the mouth. Now let's go to what you feel inside your body. Where does that fear live? It could live in multiple places, so just meet it where it's at. And then collarbone. What are your thoughts in this moment? What's going on in there? Could be you shouldn't be doing this. This is a bad idea. This is too big for you. You need to stay small to stay safe. What's going on in your thought process? Under the arm, take a deep breath. Good. We're going to go straight into a 9 gamut here. I know some of you may not be at a high level of SUD, but I like the 9 gamut even when you're not. It really just helps clear. It helps stir up your energy. So we move to the thumb point first. So reach out like you're shaking my hand, and the corner of your thumbnail that's closest to the ceiling, we tap on that. So the 9 gamut will be some eye circles, move to the pointer finger, that stir up your energy and allow you to mimic delta brain waves. What happens when we have rapid eye movement in our sleep? We'll move on to the middle finger. And when that's happening, that's when our brain goes in and starts preening all the neural pathways that we're no longer using and fortifying all the neural pathways that we're using mostly. So we're trying to preen the ones from the fear neural pathways. We'll skip the ring finger and move to the pinky finger and move all that energy into these neural pathways of bravery, resilience, courage, even when we're scared. So let's move straight to the 9 gamut point. This is the triple warmer right here in between your ring finger and your pinky finger bones on your hand. I always like to rest mine here. You guys can put yours wherever you like, but continually tap your 9 gamut point as you close your eyes and take a deep breath. And then keep your nose pointed at me throughout this entire exercise as you open your eyes and look hard down to your left, like you're looking at your left shoulder. And then come back to center and look hard down to your right, like you're looking at your right shoulder. Then come back to center. Then eyes go all the way up to the ceiling, look directly above you, and pretend there's a clock in front of you and begin to start circling your eyes, hitting every number on the clock. So make sure you're going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, kind of at this pace, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Good. Do that again in that same direction, clockwise, moving all the way around. Just remembering all of the details of your event. We'll do it 3 times counterclockwise. So go once more if you're back at 12, nice and slow. Keep tapping your 9 gamut point. Smelling, hearing, tasting, feeling, seeing everything. When you get back up to 12, go the opposite direction. So go 11, 10, 9. So we're just scraping out the edges of your peripheral vision here, making space for a little bit of a shift, a new perspective, moving all the way around while you have all of your neural bundles lit up like Christmas trees, remembering or thinking about this event. We'll do it 3 times counterclockwise. So keep going. Good. If you notice any parts are a little hard to move through, you can just roll back and forth through that number to clear out the circle. And when you're done, you can just relax your eyes and tap on the side of your hand. Take your time. No need to rush. Let's clear out every little bit of your peripheral vision. So make sure we're all caught up before we move on. Take some deep breaths into your body. Feel into that part of your body where the fear was living. See if it's changed. It may have moved to a totally new part of your body. It may have changed color, shape, size, density. It may be heavier, it may be lighter, maybe red now where it was gray before. And then we'll go to the side of the hand. Even though when I think of this event, I'm scared, I'm open to having compassion for myself right here and right now. Good. And then we'll take a little break. You can always move your hands around, give them a shake. You can stretch. I love taking a drink. That's the best way for me to move the energy around, to hydrate and flush the meridians. And then we check in. So look at your worksheet. And I would love for you guys to share what's going on with you. So we can start using some of your exact words too to work into our next round. Check in with that verse. So this is generally a recent event, so it might be something that happened in your adult life or something that is about to happen. Yeah, fear of doing it wrong. Yeah. Yeah. Nice, Ryan. We are in sync. That's awesome. I'm so glad. Ryan says I had to look around to see if you could see my writing because you were saying my exact words. Good. I think on some level, all humans hold similar fears that we're going to do it wrong, that we're going to get in trouble, that we're going to be rejected, that we're going to be abandoned, that it's proof that we're not good enough. All of these fears are very similar. Fear of new business brought up memory of moving as a kid, got in lots of trouble. Yeah, Teresa, that's great. You can go ahead and move on to this memory if that feels like it wants to be cleared today. And then you can work on another childhood memory in 2 weeks. We follow whatever comes up in the body. If the body's like, we need to go to childhood right now, then that's what we focus on today. Fear of not knowing enough. Yeah. Fear of their stubbornness and lack of openness to change. Yeah. So it's fear of things we can't control, fear of other people and where they're coming from. Good, Anita. It really dropped a lot. Didn't feel it was as important. Good. Will I lose benefits or income if I get this paperwork wrong? That's a big fear. That's a real fear. Um, Yeah, and then just looking into that, Julie, feeling into your body about how much of that is 100% legitimate and how much of it might be also our imagination adding on to that of the worst case scenario. Is it really like that's the end, or is there any coming back? Oh, if you did something wrong, is it possible I could still get my benefits and income? Sometimes we feed into that fear and it becomes bigger. I realized as I was originally tapping on the recent event of 2 days ago, the fear was turbocharged by an event this morning. Good. Let's go straight to that event then, Jocelyn. You can work on both of them at the same time because it sounds like they're connected. And hopefully, our generalization effect, where tapping on one thing generalizes to other things, will work for us. Fear of a loss of a loved one. Yeah, that's a real fear and definitely a fear of being alone or feeling a sense of abandonment, and then the fear on top of it that we put of like, how will I handle that? So being able to separate and resource ourselves for the fears that we can control, that we are smart enough to handle and take care of ourselves in. Fear of moving on without them. Yeah. Less worry about it, but really focused into the fear of failure, of not being good enough. Yeah. So fear of doing it wrong, fear of failure, proving that you're not good enough. Summer is coming and I want to ride, but my accident last year almost killed me, but I have a feeling I'm going to ride. Fear of the world around me, which I cannot control, and people don't pay attention very well while driving. Yeah, we'll definitely tap on that this next round. Fear of things we cannot control, fear of just not being enough or good enough. Good. The SUD for the body dropped to 1 to 2. Thoughts still about 3 to 4. It's my worst case scenario fear, not fully true. And that's what I want us to do right now is go into the worst case scenario. Since we're feeling a little bit more regulated in our bodies, if this feels safe for you, if it doesn't feel safe, you have personal responsibility for your mental health, but we are all here together holding this space for us to just explore what that might feel like to live it in our bodies while giving ourselves this calming experience. My fear was about going back to work after my injury if my foot is not completely functional yet. The fear of crossing the busy street in front of my flat. And after tapping, I remembered that there was a crossing island near the bus stop, no traffic lights, but better than nothing. Oh, good. So it like brought up this resolution almost or this new solution for you. That's awesome. That's what tapping does as well is get us out of the beta brainwave state where we're just jibber jabbing like all of this thought and the monkey mind so that we can actually get our prefrontal cortex back online and we can have constructive creative thinking. So that's awesome. Fear of being punished. Okay, good. Good. So we'll tap on all of this now, see if we can get everybody in there and see if we can get those suds going a little bit lower. Just tap on the side of your hand, or you can always do the sore spot. These are the same. They both correct for if there's any part of you that feels unsafe letting go of this fear. If it feels like this fear is keeping you safe in some way, tapping on the side of the hand or rubbing the sore spots will correct for this little bit of resistance and help you be able to let that go a little bit. Okay, good. Tap on the conversation. Yes, Jocelyn. Good. Okay, so side of the hand, let's let our imaginations run wild. What's the worst thing that could happen in this event? You get in trouble, you do it wrong, you can't control other people, you might get in an accident, you might die, you might be paralyzed. All of these things are possible. You might lose your benefits. You might lose a loved one. These are all possible. These are real fears. Yeah. Even though there are real parts to this fear of mine, I know that I am smart enough and resourced enough to take care of myself. And if you don't know that, it's okay. You can say, I choose to believe that, or I am open to feeling that way, whatever works for you. Even though this worst case scenario is terrifying, and I am so scared just thinking about it, it's possible that it's time to start believing in myself and having faith that it all works just as it's meant to. And even though I'm frightened, I am scared of this worst case scenario. What if something goes wrong? I know I am beginning to believe that I am smart enough and resourced enough to take care of myself and get support if this happens. Top of the head. I might do it wrong and I might get punished. Eyebrow. I might get into trouble. Side of the eye. What if I just don't know enough? Under the eye. What if I'm just not enough? Under the nose. I'm scared I'll never be good enough. Under the mouth. And what if I can't control the other people? Collarbone. What if they're stubborn or they're not open to change? Or what if they don't pay attention and I get hurt? Under the arm. What if they take away my benefits or my income if I do it wrong? Top of the head. What if I lose my loved one? Eyebrow. I don't want to move on without them. Side of the eye. What if I get rejected? What if they don't like what I have to offer? Under the eye. What if there are other solutions to this? What if there's a different perspective on this? Under the nose. There are things I won't be able to control. Under the mouth. But what if I can control the way I respond to these things? Collarbone. It's possible I can find bravery through this fear. Under the arm. This fear doesn't feel good. It's uncomfortable. Top of the head. It feels like the worst case scenario has already happened. Eyebrow. I'm open to finding freedom through this. Side of the eye. This fear is not doing me any good. Under the eye. There may be a part of me that thinks I need this fear. Under the nose. Like if I don't have this fear, something bad will happen. Under the mouth. But something bad is already happening. I feel it in my body. Collarbone. So what if there's a different way to look at this? Under the arm. I spend a lot of energy fearing that bad things will happen. Top of the head. And a lot of the threat may be just in my mind. Eyebrow. I'm putting my mind body through all this fear. Side of the eye. Fear of the unknown. Under the eye. There may be actual threats that I should fear. Under the nose. And I choose to believe that I can handle it. Under the mouth. Or I can avoid those things without this feeling of fear. Collarbone. It's just trying to keep me safe. It's here because of things I've been told in the past. It's here because of things I've experienced in the past. But just because it happened in the past doesn't mean it will happen again. Stay on the collarbone. And even if it does happen again, I am not the same person I was then. I have done so much work on showing up brave, on feeling my fear and doing it anyway. Under the arm. So I acknowledge you, fear. I acknowledge you. And I'm open to doing it anyway. Or to listening to my boundaries, or to setting boundaries, or whatever it is that works for you guys. Make the words work for you. Okay, take a moment, just bring everything back into your heart. It's always nice when you want to check in with your body to bring your hands over your heart to just slow down all the energy so you can check in and see that fear in my stomach is not there anymore for me. What about you guys? Were you feeling fear in any particular place, and has it moved for you? Has it changed quality at all? Eight to one. Nice, Roma. That's beautiful. And just a little reminder while we're checking in here, something I'm entertaining is that maybe it's okay to feel unsafe every now and then. We know how to make ourselves feel safe as practiced and um, regular tappers. But when we step outside of our comfort zone, we're going to feel unsafe for a minute. We've never done that before. It's that feeling. My whole body goes, I don't know. I don't know which way to go. I don't know what to do. And maybe that's good. We just stay in our comfort zone all the time. We're never going to grow. We're just going to stagnate. So allowing yourself to feel a tiny bit unsafe here and there because you're trying something new while still reminding yourself that you are actually very safe. People take risks all the time. Nobody has succeeded without having taken risks. So just allowing your body to feel that too right now. And I'm so glad that your whole body feels lighter. Good. That's awesome. 7 to 3, still there. Yep. I feel it more in my upper back and across the shoulder blades, nothing in my stomach or throat. You are moving that energy, Terry. That's good. Sherry, go into that 3 and ask it, what's left in there? Ask it, what else are you still feeling? What do we need to see? Where do we need to meet you in that fear that's left? And see if it's connected to something that feels familiar for you. And that would be a really nice thing to write into the insights at the bottom of your worksheet to add on to your personal peace procedure, maybe in 2 weeks from now. But see what's left in that 3, still being open to the fact that energy continues to move after our session. So it can still go down. Anita, you're at a 0. You're good to go. You're ready to anchor this into your body. I love it. That's what we're going to do for our last round. So hang on. We will anchor this in. No fear. Yay, Ryan. Cognitive shift. What happened last year needed to happen. Absolutely. To create a major shift in my life direction. And I trust the universe that either I'm meant to be here to do my work or not. Either way, I'm okay, yet cautious. Good. I'm so happy for you. It's beautiful. Tight shoulders and chest and stomach move from 675 to 0, and thoughts have moved to a new place. I remembered my spiritual guides that are right here, yet I had not brought them into my worst case scenario. Oh, yes, you can now. I love that. I know how to care for myself now, Teresa says, and I didn't as a kid. So 7 to 1. These are great shifts, you guys. 8 to 4, side of the heart to side of the base of the head and the top of the head. Good. So pay attention to those parts of your body as we continue to do a little bit more tapping, Nadia. And then go into that 4 as well and see if you can find that feeling of fear in your body, or this feeling on the side of your heart to the side of the base of your head and the top of your head. Is that a familiar feeling? Do you remember ever in the past having that similar sensation? And you might be shocked. It might be a memory that seems like it makes no sense to you. But feel into the side of your heart to the side of the base of your head and the top of your head. And that will help you know where you want to tap, where you want to focus on these next few rounds. Okay, guys, good. I'm so glad things are shifting. Theodore Roosevelt said, the only thing to fear is fear itself. So let's focus on that. Let's focus on the fact that we know why fear is here. We know what it's doing for us, and we can keep what we want and we can release the rest, finding in its place a sense of calm, confidence, resourcefulness, and bravery, courage. Okay. So even though there might still be some remaining fear, it is possible that the energy will continue to move after this call. It is possible I may need to do some more work on it, and that's okay. But for today, I've done enough, and I'm proud of myself for showing up for myself. Good. Side of the hand, even though I was feeling a lot of fear about this event, I now trust, I have faith that everything is going to happen exactly as it's meant to, exactly as it always has. And even though I still might feel this fear from time to time, I know exactly where to meet myself with unconditional positive regard, patience, and always love for that part. Top of the head, open to releasing this fear. Eyebrow, releasing it at a cellular level. Side of the eye, releasing it from my skin, my muscles, my bones, even my fingernails. No fear in the fingernails. Open to releasing it from all of my body. Underneath the eye, allowing my heart to beat regularly and my breath to return to normal. Allowing my body to relax. Under the nose. I don't need this fear to be safe. I can find safety even without this fear. Under the mouth. And maybe it's okay to feel a little unsafe from time to time when I'm trying something new, when I'm moving into my bigger crab shell, when I'm expanding and up-leveling my life. Collarbone, allowing myself to feel calm and confident, to surrender and trust. Under the arm, to have faith that I'm right where I need to be. Top of the head, knowing I can handle life. I can take care of things. Eyebrow, and I can make really good decisions. Side of the eye, I'm open to releasing this fear and replacing it with peace. Under the eye, I choose to let it go. Facing fear with courage. Under the nose, releasing the grip of fear. I acknowledge my strength within. Under the mouth, choosing to overcome this fear. Choosing peace over fear. Collarbone, I am stronger than my fears. Under the arm, I am brave and I am resilient. Good. Okay, let's go back to that hug that we started with. Just thanking your body for allowing you to process that, for helping you feel safe, going deep into your darkest fears, really feeling them, processing them, moving them through your body. And then let's do a final check-in. So look at your worksheet, see what's left. If you guys are good, you're always free to leave whenever you'd like. No obligation to stay if you're feeling nice and regulated and ready to go. I would love to hear how everybody's doing, though. You are welcome to put that into chat. You are also welcome to unmute. You're welcome to raise your hand. Whatever feels most comfortable for you guys. I'd love to just see how this fear has moved through your body. Thank you, Kay. It was so nice to see you. See you in 2 weeks. Yeah, if you guys need to leave, you're totally welcome to.
Hi,
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 Nadia.
hi,
Hi.
hi, Amanda. Hi, everyone. What's come through is I can feel like there's emotion ready to come through. So it's like ready to release. So it's a realization of deeper, deep other experiences with other loved ones. So it's just allowing me to just feel that because it's
Yeah.
almost like there's a part that just wants to just put it on the shelf and it's it's like it feels like a safe space where I can allow myself to feel that. Yeah,
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 good,
yeah.
good. And just keep peeling that onion. A lot
Mm.
of times we have these emotions that live on the outside of the onion. A lot of times it's anger and sometimes fear, and they're protecting us from feeling the pain that's inside. So as we peel back that layer of fear, that layer of anger, we can tap into the sadness, the betrayal, the abandonment, whatever it is, the pain of loss that might be in there. So you're in a really tender place right now. Just be
Mhm.
sweet and gentle with yourself. Let yourself move the energy through and use your body to help yourself feel safe and calm while you're doing this. I'm
Yeah.
glad you got a layer deeper. It's good.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you for sharing, Nadia.
Thank you.
All right, so it looks like Teresa is feeling more relaxed and almost excited. Good. How exciting. I feel very much at peace at the moment. Good, Ariana. Beautiful. Good, Cornelia. So glad. And you need to leave. That is totally okay. The 3 was about lack of control in some situations and old patterns of others, but it's down to a 0.5. As I focus on that, I am stronger than my fears, and that I can trust that things are and will be just as they are meant to be. Yeah, Sherry, that's a real fear. Other people's actions, for sure. That's nothing that we can control. Like, that's a real fear. I'm glad that you got it down to a 5, though. Feeling more resourced at how you can respond to that too. Good, Anne. My suds are gone down to a 0 on letting go and not trying to control an outcome, even though I was very fearful of an event. That's nice. Yeah, there has to be at some point a surrendering of control. You just kind of trust and have faith that things are going to happen as they're meant to. So that's awesome. Julie feels more relaxed. I know I'm safe, resourced, and will be okay. It's okay to not know how to do something I have not done before. Exactly. How else would we know? We don't know this. We got to try it. Terry, let me find you on my screen. Yes, love. Hi.
I started to type it out and I went, oh, this is stupid. It's too much. All of the body stuff is gone. So that even though it moved to a different place, it released. And what really helped me today was that so many of the words that you used from other people's issues helped me with aspects I was not even aware of. So
Good.
that was really wonderful. But then the other thing that was to me was really funny was that at the beginning you asked what we like about ourselves the most. And without even thinking, I wrote down courageous.
Ooh, yeah.
So, you know, it just came full circle because I mean,
That's
what else do you
awesome.
want to work with fear? But I didn't think about it. I just allowed it. And that's what it was. And with all the work that I've been doing this last year, it's like, yeah, I'm courageous.
Yes, ma'am, you are.
Yeah. Thank
Oh,
you.
you guys, you just bring tears of joy to my eyes. I'm so proud of all of you. This is not easy work. It is not for the faint of heart. So every single one of you are just superheroes for even being willing to go into these emotions and find some peace around it. Good, Jocelyn. So shift from sense of urgency to acceptance. Said from 8 to 2. Beautiful. I don't have to make a decision right now. I love that. And River says the sud for physically making it to the office went from 9 to 1. Good. And now you have that little path that you remembered that will help you get there. So really, really good work, you guys. If you're still typing in the chat, take your time, no rush. But I love that you guys were able to find some solutions, some things that weren't showing up when you were living in the fear, but allowing the fear to go down. Thank you for your heart, beautiful Katie. If you guys, let me just see if it looks like anybody's typing, because I just don't want to cut anybody off when they're typing. But it looks like you guys are good. Okay. Yes, thank you guys so much for coming. It was so nice to see all of you. If you would like, you can feel free to unmute and say goodbye, and we'll see you in 2 weeks from today for a past event. Bye, everybody.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Bye.
Love you so
Bye,
much.
everyone.
Take care.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Amanda.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Ow.
Bye.
Bye.